What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to talk about 3 players that are currently on the New York Jets roster that it might be time to trade away. But before we hop into that video, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. It helps the channel grow. I am trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the bye week, and I would greatly appreciate all the help from anybody and everybody who's involved and join this stuff. I release content every day. I'm really energetic. We got live streams. We got everything that you might want when it comes to your New York Jets content here at Talking Jets with Tigo. But let's hop into today's video. 3 players that it might be time to trade away. The first player on the list, player that, you know what, might be time to trade away. Unfortunately, if we would have listened to Tigo in the offseason and traded him then when his value was the highest, we would have gotten something in return for him. Well, right now, we're going to be trading him away at his absolute lowest value, but right now, I think he's taking up a 53-man roster spot, and we can take advantage of the fact that we have depth and good players here, and we might want to move on from this guy long term. Is it time for us to trade away Bryce Hall? There has to be teams out there that want a cornerback with starting experience that's signed and has a contract that you don't have to worry about. We've got Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed playing at elite levels. We've got Brandon Echols in the wings ready to dominate at the position that he has. Tony Adams can play in the slot to back up Michael Carter. And let's not forget that we also have Michael Carter II. So it almost seems like our cornerback room is full in that keeping Bryce Hall on the 53-man roster is not only a waste of money, but a waste of an asset. And Bryce Hall could be playing as a backup or even as a starter somewhere else in the league. Is there a team willing to part ways with a 6th or a 5th round pick? Maybe, if we're lucky, probably not. It's probably a 6th round pick for Bryce Hall to come in and play on their team. Who knows? But you gotta field those calls, because Bryce Hall right now isn't adding anything to this New York Jets team. And if we keep on scratching him, making him a healthy scratch week after week after week, not only is he going to get disgruntled with being on this team, but his value is going to continue to plummet. Get something for the player while you can and move on. The next player, or players really, that it might be time to trade away is one of the backups between Joe Flacco and Mike White. One of the things that I definitely want to do for this team is I want to carry 4 running backs. Right now, we only have 3 running backs active, and Bam Knight is on the practice squad. And while I'm not necessarily the biggest Bam Knight fan, I would love to elevate him onto the roster, make him a perennial healthy scratch, and kind of give him a redshirt year this year to really get acclimated with the NFL game, but also make sure that he can't get claimed by any of the other teams. How can we do that? Well, if we can facilitate a trade for Mike White or Joe Flacco, now that Zach Wilson is back, it'll free up an offensive side of the ball roster spot for us to actually do that and bring up a Bam Knight. Now, is there anyone in the league that might want those guys? Well, yeah, quarterbacks are getting hurt. New England just lost both Brant Hoyer and Mac Jones. Jimmy G is now playing in San Francisco. Do they maybe want a high-level backup to back up in San Francisco for another injury-prone player now that Trey Lance is out for the year? You know, Davis Mills isn't getting the job done in Houston. Do they want to bring in new competition and a backup there? Carolina is possibly the worst team in the NFL. Do they want to trade for another quarterback that the New York Jets have? There are teams out there that might want a player with starting experience and or an upper-level backup. Mike White, Joe Flacco, can you get anything back for them? You're probably looking at a 6th or a 7th round pick, probably a conditional 6th round pick with playtime as the biggest factor there. But the biggest thing that you would get from trading away Mike White or Joe Flacco is freeing up a roster spot for a running back. And to me, that makes too much sense almost. Maybe it's time to trade away Mike White or Joe Flacco. And last but not least, this makes me really, really sad to have to say this, but Is it time for us to trade away Denzel Mims? It doesn't look like there is a spot on this roster for Denzel Mims, and that makes me really, really sad. I love Denzel Mims as a prospect. I love what he can bring to this football team, but right now, with the performances that we're getting from Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, it is almost impossible for him to crack the top 4. And with wide receiver 5 being taken up by Jeff Smith because of Brant Boyer and the special teams unit actually playing really, really well, you don't fix something that isn't broke. Where does Denzel Mims get his shot to play on this team? I just don't see it unless there's injury. And the real thing here is even with injury, we've got other guys in the wings that are waiting and available to come in and play on this team and really just be the back half of the roster. Jeff Smith, I'm not saying he's a great wide receiver, but if one of those guys gets hurt and we have to see a little bit more of Jeff Smith, that's not the worst thing in the world. So do you take advantage of the fact that the players requested a trade? Do you take advantage of the fact that you've got a second-round pick in Denzel Mims, who is an absolute stud of an athlete, and try to get him somewhere new, somewhere where he's needed, somewhere where he can get starting time and playing time and possibly get a mid-round pick back? It might be time to trade Denzel Mims. Guys, let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. Would you want to trade any of these guys? Would you not want to trade any of these guys? Why or why not? Is there anybody else that you would like to trade and take advantage of a brand new asset in a draft pick or a new player? Let me know in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.